If using the ClickerPad voting software, PPVote, is brand new to you, this video should be a good starting point to just kind of find your feet. So what we're going to do is just look at how you can most easily make a voting slide. So there are various other videos that you may also want to watch, such as how to set up and test your keypads, and how to activate your license before you try and vote on this. But let's concentrate now on just making a simple vote and having a look at which bits are just PowerPoint and which bits are coming from the voting software. So the easiest way for us to do this, I'm just going to highlight slide 1 because I want to pop a slide in straight after that one. Go to Add-ins, ClickerPad, New Slide Wizard. Now, we're going to make a voting slide. When you get to this menu, if you see anything greyed out, it's because your license doesn't allow that particular type. But most of the time, we're just making voting slides, and all versions of the PPVote software do allow that. So hit go. And at this point, you can make a choice. Now, we can follow a wizard and we can type in our question, we can type in our answers, and we can go through all the various settings. A nice, quick, efficient way of doing it is just choosing a template and then adapting it. So on here, I've got column chart, bar chart, various yes, no, maybe. I always suggest all new users just try one of each and see how they get on. What we're going to do now is we're just going to choose the first template, which is column chart, and it will create us a slide, and we can now go and change that and add our questions. So if you had all of your questions and answers all already typed out in a Word document, for example, you could just paste in, because this box here is just text in PowerPoint. So we can do everything we normally would in PowerPoint. So we can change our font styles and colors, all the usual things that you can do in PowerPoint, you can do on these various text boxes. The only thing that's coming from the voting software is this graph, and this says sample on it. The reason for that is because this is just a preview of how a graph will look after we've run it as a vote. So we're looking for that to appear on all of our slides to show us that there's no data on them. But when we run it live, of course, it won't say the word sample. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type in what day of the week is it. And I'm not all organised. I don't have these on another document, so I'm literally just typing them. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Okay, if I'd only used 4 options, that slide would have been ready to vote on straight away, no problems at all, and all I might want to do is just move things around a little until I've got it looking how I want it. But as you can see, we've got 4 columns here and 5 options. Now, when you run the vote, it will actually adapt itself, but I just want to very quickly introduce you to the settings for the vote so you can see how to change things. So what we're going to do now is, again, back to add-ins and ClickerPad. That's where all our voting things always are. And to make changes, we don't use new slide like we did last time. We use this one, slide editor. So let's go into there and we can have a quick look at what can be changed on this slide. So as soon as I go through the editor, it reads the slide. It says there's 5 options. So actually it's going to put 5 columns into my chart. I can, if I want to, set a correct answer. So I'm recording this on a Wednesday, so I'm going to say Wednesday is correct. So I just click the box here, and you can see everybody that chooses Wednesday will get 1 point. There's a lot more you can do with quizzes, but let's just stick with the standard, which is every time you answer a question correctly, you get a single point. Okay, so what else might we want to change? Let's go and have a look at the graphing tab. So it's a column chart, and it's 2D. Now I'm actually quite happy with that. It's showing percentages here. What we might want to show is number of votes, particularly perhaps working with young children, you might not want percentages, or you can have both of those. You can have percentages and numbers. So if we change it to what we want here, and then go to the display settings, you can see that this is now saying that on the example, 17 votes would be 29%, for example. I think for most people, percentages are fine. So I'm just going to pop that back, and we'll go back to display settings, and you can see it's gone back to percentages. It has also added the 5th column there. So let's just set the position of that and make sure everything looks okay. So this will give me a full-size preview of my slide. What we can do with all these options here is just hide them while we make the size right. So this is a little pin. I'm going to click on the pin and that's now hidden. I can see better what I'm doing. So let's say I want to make my graph a bit bigger. So get your double arrows, drag it with your mouse, and you can make that the size that's appropriate for your slide. Now you might have a particular colour that you don't like. So let's say you really don't want to use orange. Let's click on the orange one and we can choose another colour. So probably don't pick one of the colours that you've already used. You can see what's in use there. So pick something slightly different and you can adjust it here. You can also set exact RGBs. So if your marketing department have given you brand guidelines and you have to use specific colour references, you can do that too. So we'll say OK, and that's updated for me. The other thing that we might want to do is adjust the width of these. So let's open that toolbar again and go to the bar size and click plus, and we can see we've made those a bit bigger. So there's a lot here that you can fiddle around with to get it looking exactly how you want it to. We can adjust these fonts. This will not affect your PowerPoint slide. Everything over here is PowerPoint. This is only affecting what's in this window. So let's take the font up a couple of notches so you can see that that font has got bigger, and unpin it again to have a look. And if we're happy with how it looks, we just click the X and that slide is ready to go. So let's hit save and go, and then we'll run through and vote on it. So let's start from the beginning, launch our PowerPoint, and you might have a few intro slides before your vote. That's fine. You can just click through your slides as normal, whether that's on a clicker or using your spacebar, however you like advancing. You can do that until you get to a voting slide, and then you can grab your keypads and cast some votes on there. So what we can see is at the moment 2 people have voted. We can wait for them to cast a few more. So let's do that. If I wanted to at this point, I could show which keypad numbers haven't voted by pressing the letter K on my keyboard. And if I grab now keypad 3, so that's second in the waiting for list, and I just vote on keypad 3, we've now got 6 votes. Keypad 3's gone, and I'll grab keypad 4. Okay, if we don't want to wait for all of them to come in, that's fine. You can close the vote whenever you're ready. So perhaps those people are not present, they're not going to vote, that's okay. We can close the vote anyway, or you can wait until you can see that everybody in the room has voted. So again, to move on, we advance as normal with our clicker, with our spacebar, with our right arrow, however you would normally go to the next slide or animation. So if I click, it closes the vote and shows the graph. Simple as that. So moving on from that, how would you make further questions? If you're happy with the way that that vote's running, and there are many other options for how to run, you can have countdown timers, you can play some music, there's further we can go, but we're sticking with the basics for now. So if you were happy with that and you wanted all your other slides to look the same, all that you need to do is copy and paste or duplicate that slide, and it's copied all the settings with it, and all you do is change the wording on PowerPoint. I'm not going to spend lots of time typing. Let's imagine that's our new question, and we've only got 4 options. So we've got our second question all ready to go. Let's repeat what we just did. Click a pad slide editor, and this time I'm not going to go through anything other than just jumping to the graphing window, display settings, and that's the color scheme of the graph that I'm going to get. You could say set graph position and go and adjust the size again, or we can just say save and go, and it will update that one for us. So making subsequent votes is very easy. So improvements that potentially you might want to make on these, I haven't got any branding. That's a plain white slide. So you can apply a slide master if you've got one. You can add your logo, you can change all of the colours, all of the usual PowerPoint things. So if you right click, go to layout. If you've got some layouts in there, you can choose from them. I've actually got a customer one on there, so I'm not going to go back and actually look at that. But you can apply any masters that you've got set up. The other thing that you can do is create your PowerPoint using your own branding, And then when you finish making all of your PowerPoint slides, you can just pop in and add your votes and it will pick up the branding used on the slide before it. So that's how you get started with making a slide.